Test 1 2 3 test. Test. There you go. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. I'm trying to think of what I want to do. I want to do a ball within a mantle. I'm going to start off with a pyramid. I'm going to drop this to 100, that to 100. Actually, I might drop this to 50 and this to 75. Add a bend. We're going to make that bend to 75, 75. Perfect. Go back. Gonna give this some segments. We're gonna give it, let's 50 segments. Actually, it's too many. It's 225. That might be too many too. 20 is perfect. Okay, we're gonna increase this. Actually, we don't have this set to the there we go. That's what I want. Okay. So now we're gonna want a cloner. Set this to radial. That looks dope already. That's not what we want though. We're gonna change the plane. Oh, that looks cool. That's not what we want though. See, we can kind of already see what's going on here, but not necessarily yet. We're gonna push the radius out a little bit until we get some sort of pentagon in the middle. Looks good. Now we're gonna want to do a sphere. Put the sphere, let's say, about level to where the points are. I'm going to turn this off so we can see a little better. Increase the radius. Keep increasing it. Okay, it looks a little too big. Just to where it starts touching the point. So let's drop it just a little bit. Okay. And let's do 100 segments to make it look smooth. Let's drop this down into the mantle. Now we can tell there's a little bit of space right here. Which is fixable. Let's see. You could either do two things. You could either raise this, make it bigger, which might be the plan. Also want to add a couple of Oops, not decrease. I want to add. There we go. There we go. That looks nice. Drop that down so it fills up the gaps on the side. Drop it down a little more. Actually, we can increase its size. Okay, sounds good. Let's save this. We'll call this one mantle ball with 2 or 3 L's. Okay. Now, we're not going to see the bottom of the design, but if it bugs you, actually what we're going to do, we're going to put a cylinder. We're going to put a cylinder to make a little mantle. A little mantle for the mantle. We're going to increase the radius a little bit first, though. Increase it to, let's do 85. The height needs to be something, not 5,000, more like 50. And we'll drop it down a little bit, just so it looks a little more flush and professional. Okay, looks good. Now, let's do I'm trying to think what I want to do next. Do a plane. Actually, before we do the plane, let's group all this together. We'll call this ball. Okay, so it's level. Set that to 4,000 for both. So we get a nice large plane to work with. Let's add an Octane camera, and now we're going to switch into an Octane settings. I have a pre-made Octane settings, which uses a 1:1 aspect ratio, which is just 1,000 by 1,000. We're going to set all these to 0. Bring it out, up a little bit. We're going to tilt it just a pinch. There we go. Looks good. Now we're going to lock this actually to prevent me from moving it more. We don't want it to move, so I'm going to lock it. But we're still able to freely move around, except when in the camera. Okay. Now let's start making some textures. Script materials, diffuse. Let's make this a specular material with the roughness. Load image. Let's see. Oops. Or put a displacement on it. And we're going to go to index and we're going to change this to 3.14. Basically what that does, when you change the index, it looks slightly different when sun goes through it or any light goes through it. The default, I believe it was 1.4 or 1.5, 1.5. That's just your basic see-through object. Now when you start going up higher, it starts to this is really more for low poly, I guess, surfaces. The light looks slightly different through it, basically. We're going to set that, and we're going to put that on, and we're going to do a glossing material as well. We're going to go into the node image. Actually, we don't need to do this. We just need the roughness. We'll use the same displacement. We'll bring it down in color, not exactly black, but we'll do it like a dark gray. There we go. Now we're going to open Octane. We're going to go into the camera first off. Now we're going to start setting our textures. Okay, there we go. And set I set the texture to cubic, where it was set to UV mapping. So it's gonna look a lot nicer when it's set to cubic. Also, you can tell that the orb here in the middle, within the mantle, actually has a nice displacement to it now, or a nice roughness to it. So it gives it this nice texture. But it's also see-through, and we'll work with that in a bit right now. Okay, we're going to want a diffuse. Now we're going to open up the node editor. We're going to let's do some stone. Let's work with some stone real quick. Got some textures already with stone. Trying to see what I want to work with here. We'll work with this one. This one's kind of grainy, which gives it a nice creepy effect. We're going to diffuse, roughness, bump. We're going to scroll down to displacement. We're going to go to displacement. Connect those. Level of detail, we're going to do 8,000 by 8,000. And we're going to set the amount to 6. 10 is way too much when working with a rock, that I've noticed. That's why I don't usually use 10. I usually drop it down to 6. Now let's go back to this mantle real quick. And actually, let's do this. Let's group these. This is a mantle. And we'll keep that as sphere. We'll give the mantle some texture. Okay, now it looks kind of weird because it's set to UV mapping, but we're going to change it to cubic, and it looks a little better now. Okay. Now, we want to be a little fancy. What we're going to do now is we're going to get that sphere, we're going to copy and paste it. We're going to actually make it, we're going to remove the texture of that original sphere, or sorry, not the original, of the copy, and we're going to drop the size. Actually, I'm going to open up this, and we're gonna drop it about maybe almost more than 50% down. Then we're gonna create a texture diffuse material again. I'm gonna set it to that, and we're gonna do emission, black body emission. Now you can already see that this is giving it some sort of light effect. We're going to go to C4 Octane RGB spectrum, and now you can tell now it's absolutely way too bright, and we'll fix that in a moment. We're going to give this a purple color just to give it a nice creepy, ness to it, I guess, creepiness. We'll drop that down to 10. 10 looks a little bit too much. Let's try 5. 5, a little too much. Let's try 3. 3 looks good. Now, we did black body emission instead of texture emission. Black body emission allows us to work with temperature as well. Increase the temperature, it gets colder. Decrease it, it gets hotter. You can tell by the color here. We don't want to mess with this too much. We're going to make it a little bit cool. And we can close this now. Nope, we don't want to close that, but we want to close the other one. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make some. Let's save this. Work with some landscapes. I'm going to close that for a second. Turn off borders at sea level. set it to -x. And we're going to give it a bend. We're going to set this to 1000 by 1000. And we'll give that the height 200. Actually, 200 might be a little bit too much. We'll do 150. Now that bend, we're going to start. We'll give that 700. Oops. Okay. Okay, sounds good, looks good. Okay, let's open up Octane again. Now we have some sort of kind of wall texture going on here. Let's go into diffuse material again one more time. We'll go into the node editor, image texture. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Open this up, go to displacement. We'll open up. We'll put that same displacement again. Not diffuse. Roughness, bump, and displacement. And one more time. This is going to have the same settings. This is going to have 8,000. It's going to have a bump or an amount of 6 centimeters. And now we're going to set this to the walls, and we're going to see the difference it makes. Okay, looks like one of them has been put, but we'll see the other one in a second. We'll see. Oh, there we go. I was waiting for that to happen. Okay. Now we'll see how much work we lost. We lost a lot of work. Great, it's fantastic. Okay, it's a part of the everyday process, guys. You lose work. Where are we at? Okay, I guess all we lost really was the walls, which isn't that bad. It isn't. It's not Cinema 4D without it crashing. Okay. Okay, we'll do borders at sea level. Take that off. We'll do that. We'll do the same stuff again. 50 with a bend. Okay, there we go. We're back to normal. Now we know how to save. We're going to change the seed a little bit here. Okay, it's fine. We'll change it here too. That's fine. We'll work with that. Okay, we'll do the same thing. Same steps over and over again. sip of coffee. Now it's beginning to get cold. Cold coffee. Okay. Boom, boom, save before we render this. Because I have a good feeling that it will crash again. Oh wow, look, it rendered it. Okay, looks good. Now we could actually change the color of this. We're going to drop this down a little bit to like a darker, not too dark. We'll do this like a nice gray, a little bit darker gray. And what we can do is we'd set this to, actually, I think, let's see. Now might be the time where we could add a daylight. And we can mess around with the daylight. Let's see, rotation. Okay. Now we could. I'm trying to think. Let's turn this off. Actually, let's see how it looks like with a regular area light. Okay. I actually like this nice gray background because it gives it a nice kind of spookiness. What I will do though is I'll add a floor and I will apply the same texture. So now the gradient's away. We're going to go to cubic. And actually, we get rid of this one. We don't need it. It's not Cinema 4D without it crashing. Told you. Told y'all. That's the second time it's crashed in 24 minutes. That's fantastic. Oh, don't you love Cinema 4D? I do. Okay. Let me take a look at this. How does it look like with... We could actually change the colors of the sky here to do a more... Ooh, that looks nice actually. But not exactly what we're aiming for. That looks nice right there. I like that a lot. Now what we can do is we can add a person, which always is required when you're doing Signal 40 Octane stuffs. Oh, we'll do Man 1, who is the guy I always use, I think. Small, turn them around, bring them back a little bit. Now we can start messing around with the good post. Of course, you gotta enable that bloom. Boom! Now it looks 10 times better. No, I'm just kidding. Do a bloom of 20. Glare amount. Definitely don't want too much. Vignette, yes, we would like vignette. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much done, except for post stuff. But this is going to take a while to render, so I might do that in a different stream/video. This came out quite nice. Definitely not the best I've done. Also, this texture, I'm not a huge fan of that. I might see if I can do this instead. Take that off. Add a plane. Oops. Add a plane. But setting this to the max. Boom. There we go. Now we can do, let's say, 25. Actually, that looks a little too much. We'll do 75. That's 758. That right there looks nice. Nice and crisp. So, this is my everyday process for the 3rd of December 2018. If you learned something that's dope, let me know. My Twitter and stuff should be in my bio or in my panels. Sounds good. I'll do a stream when I'm done with rendering this, because there's no way I'm going to render this and stream. So, yeah.